Right, so 28 years later is the new film directed by Nia DaCosta, who did Marvel's Candyman and the new 2020, I say new, the 2025 film Header. So this is a letterbox review. Fear is the new faith. Dr. Kelson finds himself in a shocking new relationship with consequences that could change the world as they know it, and Spike's encounter with Jimmy Crystal becomes a nightmare he cannot escape. The cast is Ray Fiennes as Dr. Ian Kelson, who is like he was a doctor before the outbreak, and now he has like in the first one we see that he has like a whole thing of like skulls and stuff which he does to like remember people, I think. Then we have Jack O'Connell, who we saw at the ending of the last one. I don't think that's really too much of a spoiler because, well, this is the thing. It was a bizarre ending, completely bizarre. But I thought it was all right. I thought it was good ending. So yeah, Jack O'Connell plays Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, who's a gang leader that he's he's very, if you know who he is, and I'd be surprised if you didn't know who he is. He kind of reminds me of Jimmy Savile, just the way he looks, and just sort of like that. And we see at the opening of the first one, we see someone who goes to it's like the start in Scotland, and they have the thing the Teletubbies are on, and you see like a kid goes into the church because they live in the house right next to the church, and dad is then just getting killed by and eaten by the zombies. The kid is like watching and he's hiding behind the thing, and we learn later in the film that he is in fact that Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, played by Jack O'Connell, is in fact that child, and I think you can work that out from about halfway through. So yeah, there's lots of different Jimmys. They're all called Jimmy, or the girl's called Jemima. So they're all sort of like based off it. Produced by Danny Boyle, Alex Garland, Andrew McDonald, Bernard Bellew, I think that's how I say it, and Peter Reich. So it was written by Alex Garland, and I read somewhere that Danny Boyle said it's the best screenplay he has read since Trainspotting, and obviously he is known for Trainspotting. So that's huge compliment to the screenplay from Alex Garland. I thought it was definitely a lot more character driven than the first one. We sort of learn more about Ray Fiennes and Kelson. We also learn more about the gang. Obviously, Spike's of character development, character arc. We learn more about that. We also, we just learn a lot more about the characters. I also think it's a lot more brutal than the first one, but a lot of the brutality happens off screen. For example, there's a scene where they're going and giving to charity, which is basically just killing them, and they're killing like the whole family. They're skinning them, skinning and I don't know why I did that for skinning them, because well but yeah, it starts on screen, then goes off screen, so I think it's definitely a more darker tone, but it works well, and I think that for the character driven approach that Nia DaCosta's gone for, and Alex Garland, because he's the one that wrote it, I think it works really well, and I think it's a great compliment, and it complements very nicely to 20 years later. Obviously, sometimes I do get confused, because not confused is the wrong word, but sometimes I'll say 20 years and then have to specify which one. Obviously, I have a bit of a funny story. I say funny; it's not really a funny story, but I have a bit of a story nonetheless. Where I was buying 20 years later on 4K, and then I go to we're walking around with my friend, and he sees it on the bus and goes, "Oh yeah, isn't that a thing you just bought? How come some DVD?" I had to explain to him that they'd done a second part of the third film in the franchise. So it's a bit confusing sometimes, but yeah. So I thought there was a Metallica sequence with Ray Fiennes, which was hilarious. And there's this thing, and I said that was hilarious. I think it is unironically hilarious at times, because Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal is the most idiot. Like, he is genuinely so dumb at times that just makes him hilarious. Like, there's one moment, not to spoil it completely, where they're going and they find Ray Fiennes, and he's talked about Old Nick, which is Satan, and he's like, and someone said, "Oh yeah, is that Old Nick?" And he goes, he's looking at the thing, and he's going, he's never seen this person before in his life, So he's like, um, and you could look in his eye and you could tell he's never seen him before. And obviously they're all just sort of believing him. Um, and then one of them goes, "Is that Old Nick?" And he goes, "Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, definitely." Even though he has no idea who he is. So I thought that scene was very funny. Obviously, there's a lot more of a human element to the zombies we see with Samsung, who's like the alpha of the zombies. Yeah, I enjoyed obviously having all the opioids, seeing as why we see that human side, but I thought ultimately it was good to be allowed to see more. And again, like, it just goes back to they wanted to go for a more character-driven approach, and it works incredibly well. So yeah, I like I love the editing as well. You can definitely see a difference in directing style. I mean, even when they were doing the kills with the arrows in the first one, you can see maybe it goes like stuttering, sort of like picture, when they're shooting it. And obviously in this one, it doesn't really that, but it's not really shooting with arrows. But it's definitely a different directing style. You can see it, but I don't think that Nia DaCosta's world and direction takes anything away from the first one. I think it adds to it, if anything. Nia DaCosta definitely just uses Danny Boyle and Alex Yarner's world and expands on it really well. She just gets it, is what I have written down here. Just completely just gets it. So the third film in the 28 Years Later trilogy has already been greenlit. So this is the fifth film in the franchise that has been greenlit. So looking forward to that when it comes out. If I were to rank all of the four films that are, I'd probably have to say The Bone Temple is number one, followed by Years, then Days, and then Weeks last. And funny enough, obviously I'm saying Weeks, Rose Byrne is in Weeks, and was also in If I'd Like to Kick You, which was the last film we discussed, obviously, or if you're watching on YouTube. So my final rating of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is a 4 out of 5.